Sanchin!
Sanchin Kata originated in Fuzhou, China. Renowned Okinawan master Kanyo Higaonna studied the martial arts in Fuzhou from 1868 to 1881. It was at this time that he learned the kata of Goju-ryu from the legendary Chinese master Ryu Ko. On his return to Okinawa, Master Higaonna passed on this kata to his top student, Master Chojo Miyagi. Master Miyagi in turn passed on the kata to his protege, Master Anich Miyagi. He in his turn then passed them on to Master Morio Higaonna in their complete and original form, together with the profound martial meanings which they represent. The literal translation of the name Sanchin is 3 wars or 3 battles. Master Higaonna will explain the meaning of this term in more detail later in this introduction. Sanchin Kata, like Tensho, is an example of Heishu Gata. The principles of both these kata epitomize the methods of Goju-ryu karate. Sanchin Kata is the most important basic kata which represents the fundamental foundation for all the techniques in Goju-ryu. The kata of Goju-ryu can be divided into 2 main types. These are Heishu Gata and Kaishu Gata. Sanchin and Tenshu katas are examples of Heishu Gata, where tension throughout the body and especially in the tanden is maintained from the beginning to the end of the kata. Sanchin Kata is a very demanding kata. For the student it is a severe test. After the Second World War in 1948, Master Chojo Miyagi introduced the Geksai katas as the first katas to be learned in the Goju-ryu system. Before the war, however, Sanchin was the first kata to be taught. The instruction was exhaustive and thorough, and it was considered so fundamental and important in developing strength specifically for karate. It was said that if Sanchin Kata was practiced diligently, it would not be necessary to study any other kata. The training was severe at this time, and out of 10 students who might begin karate, after 1 year only 1 or 2 would remain. Master Higaonna's senpai, Sensei Seiko Kina, Kie Tomoyose, Jitsue Yogi, and Shunshin Furigen, for the first weeks of their training in Master Miyagi's dojo, practiced only the stepping sequence of Sanchin Kata. This was typical of the training before the war. Sanchin Kata practice strengthens the body, mind and spirit. It adds power to technique and trains the reflexes. It also teaches patience and improves and maintains the faculties of the mind into old age. Because Sanchin Kata practice is so beneficial, and because it is the fundamental kata of Goju-ryu, which teaches the underlying principles of this style, it has become the most widely known and widely taught kata in the Goju-ryu system. If practiced diligently, this kata develops the specific qualities required for karate. It develops what Master Higaonna describes as karate power. Now Master Higaonna will explain the key points of Sanchin Kata. It is essential to first achieve correct focus and technique in the feet. The toes of both feet should be spread apart as far as possible. The toes and soles of the feet should be stuck to the floor. Imagine the feet extending into the floor like the roots of a tree into the ground to create an unshakable base. If the feet and legs are focused properly with the strength and tension beginning here, then it will be easier to focus strength in the upper body in the correct way.
いうのが一つのコツです。また、三鎮の意
The
味
sign
は
of Sanchin, which means three,
三鎮
refers to the three
1 2
distinct
3
body
これ
areas.
は頭の
From the top of the head to the shoulders is
から
Jodan.
肩まで上段
From the shoulders to the
中
solar
段
plexus is
肩から
Chudan.
水月まで
And from the solar
水月から
plexus
下は
to the
下段
soles of the feet is
これは
Gedan.
長寿先生がよく
These are the three
兄
distinct
先生に
divisions of the
指導
body that Master Goju Miyagi described to
上
Master
中
Anichi
下
Miyagi.
の位置ですね。高さんでこれが上段中段下段を指すということですね。上段中段下段123 123この3つを指して
Now Master Higaonna will explain in detail the correct method of focusing each of the three
1
areas.
の上段
This is called shime or tightening of the body. Jodan.
鋭
The eyes
く
look straight ahead,
まっすぐ正
see
面
all
に
around.
さ
The
らに
mind is
全
conscious
体
of
を
the activity of the whole body.
さらに
The chin is
中
pulled in
段は
slightly.
肩を下げ
Chudan. The shoulders are kept down, the chest is out and open, and the back is straight.
腕を
The elbows are in
しっか
tight
り
to the
締
sides
め
of the body.
さらに
The
腕が
direction of strength in the
幕をし
forearm
て
spirals outwards and around
力
to
を
be
拳
concentrated
を
in
集
the
約
fists.
する、左も同じように巻きつけるようにして力を拳の方に集約する。これが中段。
Gedan.
下段は
The thighs are
下腹部を
tensed. The anal sphincter muscle is drawn up and in, and the testicles are pulled
巻き
up.
つけるように
The lower abdomen is rolled forward and up, centering on the tanden, which is curled tight. The knees are bent and
膝は
turned in and are
さらに
directly
折
over
り
the toes.
膝頭と足指は
The feet are turned in and the soles of the feet and toes are
測定
stuck
が
to the floor. The toes are spread apart.
床また地に張るようにして立つと。
If Sanchin is performed as described, with the three areas correctly focused and this combined with correct breathing, then correct karate technique and strength for
正しくできて
karate,
初め
karate
て
power will be
正
achieved.
しいその空手の技ができまた力が出てくるということを言われております。特に三鎮は
The karateka of former times in Okinawa studied and practiced Sanchin Kata extensively.
三鎮
It was considered of paramount
終わりもが
importance.
三鎮
Training would begin with Sanchin and end with Sanchin.
言われるぐら
Sanchin
い
Kata would be practiced many times every
稽
day.
古の始め終わりも三鎮と始めも三鎮終わりも三鎮と三鎮で始まって三鎮で終わるぐらい
Sanchin
毎
Kata
日
breathing.
三鎮を修行
Sanchin breathing is performed with the abdomen.
で今度
The
は
shoulders should not rise up
三鎮
and
の
focus must be
呼吸
maintained
で
in
す
the
が
tanden at all
呼吸
times.
は
The muscles throughout the body are filled with tension, but the breathing should be smooth and flowing.
スムースに柔らかく滑らかにやる
The throat should be free of tension to allow the breath to be inhaled smoothly.
喉を
It is a
力入れない
mistake
で
to restrict the
息は
throat when performing
静かに
Sanchin. The breath should be inhaled smoothly through the nose and down into the tanden.
丹田まで下げていく
When
丹田
exhaling,
か
breathe
らま
out
た
from
静
the
かに
tanden smoothly and expel the air through the
で
mouth.
口から吐き出すこれが正しい呼吸法です
There are
呼吸
different
法も
methods of breathing
その
according to the
修行者
technical
の
level of the
程
practitioner.
度によってい
For
ろ
the
いろ違いま
novice,
す
the
最
breath
初は
is
まっす
imagined
ぐ
to travel down into the tanden via the nose and throat and stomach.
その修練
and
の
then
程
out via the
度
same
によって
pathway.
だんだん技も高めてい
A
く
more advanced
正し
method
い
is
呼
to
吸を
imagine the
必
breath
ず
entering
意
through
識
the
を丹田
nose,
に
flowing around
意
the
識を
top
置い
and
て
back of the head,
息をする
down the lengths of the spine, under the groin, and collecting in the tanden where it is caught
正し
tight.
い呼吸であれば
And there it is
動
exhaled
き
by
も
the
正しく
stomach,
出る
chest,
し
throat,
ま
and
た
mouth.
あ
An even
横隔
higher
膜
level is to imagine the breath traveling all the way down to the legs and into the soles of the feet.
お腹に意識すれば
Concentrating in the tanden in this way and correct abdominal breathing causes the diaphragm to move up and down
中
more
の
than
方
usual.
も健康になりますまた痛風
This movement massages and stimulates the internal organs, which in turn promotes good health and a strong constitution.
鍛えると言われております
If the internal organs are in good condition, then internal
ただ
strength
筋
can
肉
be
の力
developed and
だけじゃなく
fortified.
て内面の力
The
と外面
combination
の
of a
力
strong and healthy
が一致し
internal
て初め
system
て
with a well-developed
技が決まると
external frame will result in the development of true karate power. For this reason, Sanchin Kata is fundamental to Goju-ryu and a necessary part of the Goju-ryu system. As already mentioned, Sanchin Kata was brought back to Okinawa from Fuzhou, China by Master Kanyo Higaonna after studying the martial arts there under Master Goju-ryu. This Sanchin Kata differs in two main ways from the Sanchin Kata we know today. Firstly, instead of using the closed fist, the techniques were exclusively open hand. Secondly, the method of breathing was fast and explosive. If powder were held in the outstretched arm, with one powerful breath it would be blown away. Master Kanyo Higaonna's exhalation was said to be extremely powerful. The breath as it was expelled from the mouth was said to spiral rather like the motion of a bullet makes when it leaves a gun. On his return to Okinawa from China, it was this open-handed Sanchin Kata that he first taught to select students at his home. In 1905, at the request of the principal of the Naha Public Commercial School, Master Higaonna began teaching the martial arts. The intention of the principal was to educate the boys both physically and spiritually. He wished to strengthen their bodies while at the same time teach them correct moral values. The spear hand of Sanchin Kata was a weapon that when tempered was a technique for killing an opponent. Therefore, this technique was not suitable for teaching to youngsters, as it emphasized the martial aspect of the martial arts. Because of this, Master Higaonna changed the open hand to the closed fist, which emphasized the physical conditioning more than the martial application. He also introduced a slower method of breathing, again to emphasize physical development. However, at this time, Master Higaonna continued to teach the original open-handed Sanchin to his select students at his home. Tradition also played an important role in the change from the open hand to the closed fist Sanchin in Okinawa. For the Okinawan people who had a long history of their own indigenous martial art, which involved striking the makiwara, the closed fist felt natural. Master Higaonna recalls that as a young boy, even those who had no experience of karate would naturally assume a closed fist stance when fighting with other boys. In his younger days, Master Chojo Miyagi, under the guidance of Master Kanyo Higaonna, practiced the original open-hand form of Sanchin Kata. In the beginning, he was constantly drilled in the fast, explosive method of breathing. But later on, this method of breathing changed to a slower and deeper form. Emphasis was placed on abdominal breathing, with strength being focused in the Tanden. So it was that the original Sanchin Kata from Fuzhou, China, was adapted to suit the schoolboys of Okinawa and the natural leaning of the Okinawan people in general. The open hands became closed fists and the breathing became deeper and slower. After Master Kanyo Higaonna died, Master Miyagi continued to practice Sanchin Kata as he had been instructed by his teacher, but he also began to develop and research his own original version of Sanchin Kata. Master Higaonna's Sanchin consists of 3 steps forward, turn, 3 steps back, turn, 1 step forward, and then 1 step backwards, whereas Master Miyagi's Sanchin consists of 3 steps forward, then without turning 2 steps backwards. Therefore, the major difference is that in Master Miyagi's Sanchin there are 2 steps to the rear and no turning, whereas in Master Higaonna's Sanchin there is only 1 step to the rear, the emphasis being on moving forward rather than back. Master Miyagi's theory was that for human beings it is natural for them to walk forwards, but to walk backwards it is awkward and unnatural. Therefore, because it is unnatural to walk backwards and dangerous if you cannot see where you're going, it is necessary to use other senses and to concentrate intensely on the rear areas of the body. The eyes look straight ahead, but the consciousness is directed behind and the rear muscles become tense naturally. It was with this theory in mind that Master Miyagi developed his Sanchin Kata to ensure equal emphasis on moving forwards and moving backwards. The sequence of Sanchin Kata as developed by Master Miyagi is very simple, but the theory behind it involving physiological and psychological principles is extremely profound. Recent research has shown that moving backwards, rather like in Sanchin Kata, may remedy a variety of lower back complaints. Master Miyagi has proved to be way ahead of his time, as he also spoke of this beneficial aspect of Sanchin training many years ago before the Second World War. It was with this kind of detailed and thorough research and innovative thinking that Master Miyagi developed Sanchin Kata as we know it today. With human beings, areas of the body that are not normally used tend to be neglected and forgotten about. It is easy to develop the front of the body, for example, but people often forget about the back areas. The human body, when not used, degenerates and becomes weak. A classic example of this is the feet. Thousands of years ago, when people would walk without any kind of foot support, the toes in the foot was much stronger and more dexterous than it is today. Now that people wear shoes all day long, the foot has been badly neglected, and consequently it has lost its natural dexterity and strength. This same weakening condition will happen to the lower back also if it is not used. Concentration and awareness given to the lower back in Sanchin Kata will correct this degeneration. The same intense focusing of power that is concentrated when moving forward must also be concentrated when moving backwards. The soles of the feet, the heels, the knees, the buttocks and the back muscles must all be focused. With correct attention to these points, the back will become stronger and technique more powerful. The other change that Master Miyagi introduced was the breathing method. In Master Miyagi's method, the breathing is much slower, with the emphasis being on executing each technique with strength to develop more power. To understand this concept more fully, imagine lifting a 5-kilogram barbell. If it is lifted normally, then it is quite easy and will not require much effort. However, if you imagine this same barbell to weigh 20 kilograms and then try to lift it with this image in mind, it will require much more strength and will consequently result in the development of more power. Likewise, if you practice Sanchin Kata, performing each technique slowly, and try to execute these techniques using double the amount of power your body actually has, then you will develop even greater strength. Now Master Higaonna will explain the kamae, or beginning posture of Sanchin Kata. This underwent change after 1945. Today, Sanchin Kata begins from Musubadachi with the hands crossed in front of the groin area. Before the Second World War, Sanchin Kata would begin from the yoi position, but then the fists would be drawn to the sides and heikodachi assumed prior to beginning the kata itself. After the Second World War in 1948, Master Miyagi decided that one ready posture was sufficient in preparation for the kata. Because other students of Master Miyagi were busy after the war trying to earn a living for themselves and their families, only Master Anichi Miyagi and Master Eiji Miyazato learned this way of beginning the kata. It is still acceptable to begin Heishu Gata such as Sanchin and Tenshu Kata with the two kamae positions as they are basic kata. But the Kaishu Gata, Gekusai Daichi through Supurimpe, must begin with Musubadachi kamae as they represent technique. In real combat, no kamae is the true kamae. On the outside, the disposition appears calm and natural. Inside, however, the karateka is alert and the spirit is ready to react to the slightest movement. Shime, which is sometimes translated as testing, is more accurately described as assisting a student. It is for the student's benefit, help him focus his muscles and concentration correctly. It is to encourage the student to discover his true potential in order to bring out and develop strengths which he may have thought he did not possess. Shime is not so much teaching as helping the student in his training.
相手の精神を高めるために、助けるためにやります。例えばですね、ポール。この向こう。
Now Master Higaonna will explain and demonstrate the key points of shime using an assistant.
これも締め方があります。締め。締め方はいきなり上から叩かない。
The instructor must begin at the feet and not at the shoulders.
足から力を沈めた足からこう見ます。
To ensure that the soles of the feet are firmly rooted to the floor, try and insert the finger under the arch.
この親指の線が
Then grip the ankles and attempt to move the
ま
feet.
た意識としてつまずがぴったり
This will encourage the student to focus concentration in this area. It is reported that Master Kanyo Higaonna and other masters from that era could determine the physical condition of a student by feeling the pulse of the ankle. If he determined that the student's condition was not good on that day, then he would discontinue the training. Next, check the knees and the tension in the buttocks by feeling these areas. This will help the student to focus in the legs. Once this has been achieved, then strike the areas being checked as shown. Next, checks focus in the tanden. As you touch, the student's concentration will naturally be focused in that area. This applies to the shoulders also. After the shoulders, check the latissimus dorsi muscle. When striking the shoulders, do not hit forcefully without warning. First, place the hands over the area as a signal to the student, then strike down from above. If the knees are improperly focused, or if one leg is stronger than the other, then the student may fall to one side. Shime at the shoulders will encourage tightening of all the muscles in the body, from the toes to the fingers. It will also encourage the student to correct his overall posture so that the spine is erect. As well as correcting technique, striking the student has the effect of stimulating the whole consciousness. Shime conditions and trains the mind, the spirit, and the body. The eyes will also be effective and will appear sharp and alert. Shime unifies the mind, spirit, and body to bring out the true karate power inherent in the student. It is important to realize that shime is a lot more than simply striking different areas of the body.
ただ叩くんじゃない。と同時にまたこうすることによって相手は
During shime, the student must be conscious of his movements, his muscles, and his breathing. If he is preoccupied with the strikes, then he will not be able to execute the kata correctly. On the other hand, if he is focused on the kata, harmonizing the breath with the movements and concentrating on the tanden, then he will not be aware of the painful strikes. Shime has a determined methodology which should always be followed. Always begin at the bottom with the feet and work up the body from there. When striking the shoulders, do not strike the area closest to the neck as this is dangerous. Always aim for the actual shoulder area. It is important to observe the back muscles. Master Higaonna's teacher, Master Anikinyagi, would test the tension here by pressing with the fingertips. The back muscles are important as power for a punch originates in the legs and back because it's directed along the arm and into the fist. Now Master Higaonna will demonstrate shime standing in front of the student. As the student inhales, the fist is pulled back. Then, as the fist is pushed forward while focusing on the tanden, Master Higaonna offers resistance. This encourages the student to combine breath and movement and helps the student to focus power correctly. Check that the legs and buttock muscles are still focused using the foot. If the student is strong, then offer more resistance. The amount of strength used by the instructor will depend on the student. It is wrong and unhelpful to offer so much resistance that the student cannot move. Always take into account the student's physical ability when assisting him and be sure to harmonize your actions with his breathing and movements.
やると
The purpose of shime is to develop the student's strength.
効果があり
The instructor must be aware of the student's condition at all
相
times.
手の力に合わせ
He should observe the skin color
これが
and note any
サン
signs
チ
that
の
may
締めの
indicate sickness.
目的ですと同時にまたサンチに2人の指導者が締める
Shime can
場合
also be
また4
performed by
人
two instructors
私アンチェ聞いたん
simultaneously.
ですが昔は
One stands behind
4
and one
人
in
で
front.
締める場合も後ろと前
Master
と
Anish
横
Miyagi
から
recalls that in
締
former
める場合
times
もあ
it
った
was
らしい
even known for four
これが
instructors to
サン
assist
チの
one
非常に
student.
鍛え方としての練習の一つの過程ですでこれは非常にまたサンチの相手を力つける意味の鍛錬ですで今日終わろうサンチの締め終わります、はいそれからサンチンへ入りますでその前にサンチンの
Now Master Higaonna will demonstrate the key points to look for when instructing students in Sanchin Kata.
はいようようの姿勢というのは全ての準備ですから
The yoi position, or ready posture, is in preparation for the kata itself.
結び立ち
The back should be straight, the feet are in musubadachi. The hands should be focused tight.
ここを叩けば意識の集中が分かります
In this position, the breathing is smooth and
今は
deep,
静かに呼吸鼻から吸
imagining the
って
breath traveling in through the nose, around the back of the head, down the spine, and being concentrated in the tanden.
さらに上げて
As the breath is exhaled, it travels up through the front of the body and out of the
前
mouth.
に3回ほどやります
Before beginning the kata, take 3 breaths in the yoi position.
産地の意味っていうのはまず3っていうのは
Each of the 3 areas, Jodan, Shudan, and Gedan, must be focused
中
correctly.
段下段を指します123で上段の場合は
Jodan, the eyes look straight ahead, but awareness is focused all around.
正面まっすぐ見て全体を意識してみます中段は
Shudan, the back is straight, shoulders are down, and the abdomen is
手
tense.
で肩を下げそれからお腹を締めで足もしっかりを
Gedan,
この
the soles of the feet are firmly
手に
pressed to the floor.
まず指で
The feet should feel as if they are anchored to the ground like the roots of a tree.
上段、中段、下段初めてしっかりした立ち方ができますはい今度は構えですが
In this opening movement, the hips first drop down, then the body moves forward smoothly.
静かに前に進んで出て落としながら落として静かに
The fists in Kamai position are slightly lower than the shoulders.
拳や肩にいくらか少し高い
The inner edge of the forearm is lined with the outer edge of the upper arm.
内腕の小指の側面テクニック
The elbows are approximately 1 fist distance from the sides.
大体同じまっすぐですねまっすぐで脇をこう締める大体一拳でいいけど一拳でやや締めてそれから膝
The knees are directly over the
親指
toes
の親指
and
と
turned
膝
in.
がしたら垂直
The thigh muscles tighten the other way to the outside.
この筋肉を中へこれを中へ入れてこのギューッと外へ張るようにして今度はお尻このお尻
The buttocks and anal sphincter muscles are drawn in and up.
丹田
The tanden is rolled up
巻きつける
tight.
ように力が振ります
The spine is erect, the chin is pulled in slightly, and the eyes look directly to the front.
目線はまっすぐ正面はい次に今度は呼吸と動きを説明します
As the breath is inhaled, the elbow pulls in a downward direction as it moves back. The inner forearm presses against the side as this movement is
内
performed.
腕を脇すりながら脇をこうすりながらはい次ですで脇から剣が離れると同時に拳を回してねじっていく
As soon as the punch begins its forward motion, it begins to twist inwards.
この拳をひねりは同時にしますで
As the arm reaches full extension, the fist is twisted in fully and the punch is focused as the breath is exhaled. Concentration should be focused on the tanden and the fist at this point. The shoulder remains down throughout the movement. The fist finishes directly in front of the ganka vital point on the student's own body. As the fist is drawn back, do not make a large circular motion. Focus in the wrist as the arm is drawn back. The foot moves forward slowly. The soles do not break contact with the floor. The inner edge of the sole is the point of contact as the foot moves forwards. As the arm draws back, the shoulders must be kept down and the latissimus dorsi muscles firmly tensed. The muscular or external strength originates in the legs and back and is directed along the arm, while the breath or internal strength originates in the tanden and is directed from there up the front of the body and out of the mouth, and also along the arm to be focused in the fist. The inhalation should be as deep as possible in order to develop maximum power. Both fists should be tightly clenched. Strength spirals around the forearms to be concentrated in the fists. In the same way, the strength spirals down the legs to be focused in the soles of the feet. The shoulders must remain down throughout these movements. Breathing and movement and correct tension in the muscles must all be harmonized and focused together. Fists remain tightly clenched from beginning to end. If the student possesses the power to move 100 kilograms, then he should try and imagine performing the kata using double this power. In this position, focus in the outside and the inside forearms, and also the palms. The thumb is the most important point in this movement. It must remain tightly focused at all times. As the arms pull back, the latissimus dorsi muscles in the back remain tight. Focus in these muscles as you pull back. In the same way, as the arm pushes forwards, the back and side muscles remain tight and the tanden is focused. In this position, the left hand begins from deep under the elbow. The right elbow is pulled down strongly as the left arm begins the blocking movement. The shoulder is locked down tight and the back muscles are kept tense throughout the blocking movement. The thumb must be focused tight and the palm stretched open as the hands push forward. The inner edge of the forearms pushes hard against the sides of the body as the push is executed. The left hand is on level with the clavicle and the right hand is level with the groin. At the end of the kata, the student exhales, then makes one short but deep inhalation, before expelling all the air in short, powerful exhalations.
これで三振終わります。
Now Master Higaonna will demonstrate the correct method of shime. As stated earlier, shime should be seen as a method of assisting the performer and not as a test.
まず締めは測定がぴったりつくように
Watch closely as Master Higaonna follows the procedures he has explained in the introduction to Sanchin Kata.
丹田が締まっているかどうか。肩を叩くときは相手に意識させておいて
Notice how Master Higaonna always places his hands on the area to be hit before actually striking.
首の近いところをしない。危険ですから、この下の方へ。上げないように、マスさんの力で一つ。背中まっすぐ全体意識して足、背中、腕、頭全身の力を抜かないようにして、このまま力緩めないで、顎引いて、真正面見て、
With each movement, Master Higaonna repeatedly checks the whole body for tension to ensure that the performer has not neglected any one area.
ただ締めるんじゃなくて、全体を意識させるために締めます。上げない。
Master Higaonna constantly encourages the performer throughout the kata, informing him if a particular area has lost tension or if a movement needs correcting. 'Now Master Higaonna will demonstrate Sanchin Kata with full power and the correct timing.
Sanchin!
The Sanchin Kata that Master Higaonna will now demonstrate is the original Sanchin Kata as taught by Master Kanyo Higaonna after he adapted the open hand movements to the closed fist movements. The breathing is performed a little faster than in Master Chojo Miyagi's Sanchin.
Sanchin!
Thank you for watching Goju-ryu Sanchin Kata. Tape number 24, which is the next in this series, is Tensho Kata.